So today we're in Oxfordshire to look at the Old Maltings in Abingdon. So this is an office block. We've got planning approval to turn it into 16 flats under permitted development. We then enhanced the scheme and turned that into 20 units, and that has also now been approved under a full planning application with external works associated with that as well. So we're going to look around this site. I'm going to be talking you through how we've added as much value as we have. So the full scheme here is to convert the existing building into 20 flats. We're going to be converting the upper levels into 16 flats, and these undercrofts, which are currently used as car parking, we've actually got planning approval to turn those into residential space. So we've got 2 1-beds, a 2-bed here, and then a further 2-bed just behind me in the corner. Now, the full planning application that we are about to submit is actually to get a further 2 Mews Houses right behind me here. So this part of the car park will become 2 terraced houses, which will be 3-bedroom. So when we're looking at these types of buildings with the view to designing and optimising the scheme, we're going to be looking for dead space, plant rooms, undercrofts, bin stores, bike stores, all of that type of floor area that we can convert into net saleable space for our property developer clients. That's how we really maximise value for them. Essentially, when we buy something like this, we want to take the internal GIA and maximise the NIA to GIA ratio. We would typically look to start at about 85%. So 85% of the floor area will be for useful, saleable space. The rest of the 15% or less, hopefully, will be for cycle storage, bin storage, hallways, lift cores, stair cores, and all the supplementary stuff that service those flats. So we're currently standing in what is currently used as a car parking undercroft. You can see again some of the historic features of the site. You've got the cast iron columns and the beams and these awesome sort of barrel vaulted ceilings made out of the masonry brickwork. The plan on these units down here from an interior design perspective is to keep as much of this exposed as possible. So scrub it up, seal it, and then have track lighting to kind of make a feature of the historic features within the building. So this reception area actually has some really good kind of nods to the history of the building. If you look behind me, this big arch would have been where they brought in, on horses and carriage, the wheat and the barley into the actual main sort of brew house behind. Our plans for this and the planning approval that we have is to actually bring out a new mezzanine level or infill first floor space across to the front. And all of this space above me will become additional C3 use residential flat. Again, added value to the client, and ultimately that drops down to the bottom line profit to them. So you can see the developer's already started to kind of start the strip out works. They've lifted the carpet tiles and they're starting to put up some stud walls. You can see some of the original features of the building, these cast iron kind of columns and steel beams running across the ceiling. Unfortunately, these will be enclosed within the new party wall that we will be putting in this part of the building. So there's a dividing party wall line down the centre, and then we've got new flats either side of us here. The full planning application that we hope to achieve is actually getting a balcony out at first floor level here so that we can knock down some of these window ledges, create a door out into some private amenity space for these flats. Again, a real sort of enhancement to the Class MA application that allowed us to get change of use internally, but then actually do an external works planning application to add all of these enhancements to really kind of add value to the units. So we are stood in what we've dubbed the turret. I don't really know what the fancy name for it should be, but we've called it the turret. Coming into this space, we are splitting it down the middle and creating a 3-bedroom split level flat where I stand here. So this will be the big kitchen, dining, living space. There'll be a set of stairs that goes up to what will be a new first floor level above us. So at the moment, we've just planned for 1 additional floor. Now, when we get all of this internal sort of cosmetic structure out of the way and we can see exactly what the external structure looks like from the inside, what I'm hoping to do is get a second extra floor up there that has that beautiful roof light overlooking what will probably be maybe a master ensuite or something like that. So if you look hard enough, you should be able to see around about £500,000 worth of value right above me. If you can't see it, I'll explain why. We're going to be extending a mezzanine level on our new first floor across where these steel beams are. We're going to be chopping out a lot of the existing king truss and the structure that you can see above us, and getting at least 7 bedrooms across this whole roof space. Now that's a huge amount of added value, and that's the type of thing that Aura Architecture and Interiors can do for our property developer clients. So as part of our external works application, we got a number of roof lights in the roof slope to let light into what will be that new roof space of bedrooms. Now that was a phased process that we had to go through. We essentially got the external works approved for the roof lights, and then we went in for a separate or enhanced Class MA permitted development planning application to then utilise the loft space. We couldn't have done it the other way around because the Class MA is purely about internal change of use space, and if the space does not have natural daylight, the plans would have been rejected if we had submitted the Class MA with space in the loft. But because we did it the other way around, we got planning approval for the roof lights to let light into the roof space, and then went in for the change of use internally. We've got around the daylight sunlight issues. So we're extending the floor this way and extending the floor that way. Gets around about 600 square feet of additional space, which when you look at that size, you're talking about a 1-bedroom flat. So huge amounts of added value by just extending the floor space into double height volumes, and that's going to add a huge amount of value. So the Old Maltings is a beautiful, 1800s building, and then they stuck a glass and steel canopy on the front, which looks hideous. In our full planning application, we're looking to knock that down, bring out the facade in line with the neighbouring listed building, and really create a new facade with brick, giving a nod to the existing heritage of the site, mirroring some of the aspects of the Grade 2 listed building next door, and giving a new lease of life at the front. So as part of converting the car parking undercroft into new flats, we're going to be turning the grills into windows, high-level windows for the kitchens on this side, and they will become fantastic flats for first-time buyers. Our full planning application hopes to get some courtyard gardens and some parking out the front, and those should sell for really good money. So understanding our property developer clients is crucial to giving them the best output with the scheme. On this scheme, we know that the property developer is looking to hold this for the longer term. So actually having lots of smaller units is far more beneficial than having 2- and 3-bedroom flats. So with Class MA permitted development, it gives us the opportunity to create small flats because the development mix isn't taken into account by the planning officers. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see more finished site tours, then head over to our playlist.